People often say that you are too young for it. Wait for your time. And we believe in it. We wait, we think that experience comes with age. And then you meet somebody who shatters this idea. In the very fifth episode of Understanding Views on Women and Men, we sat with Sejal Jakmola. She is into public policy. Imagine being 23 and you're working in Parliament of India. She is not just studying policy, she is trying to make it simple, actionable, and real. In this episode, we didn't just talk about policy, we talked about crime, gender, how controversy shape our mindset, and above all, what it actually takes to create a change in the world that thinks you are too young. And if you have ever wondered that what it really takes to create a change in this society, you are about to find it out.
So, crime rates in our country is the major concern. So, from your perspective, what practical policy measures or community initiatives could help to reduce crimes or improve safety for everyone around?
I think reducing crime requires both strong preventive policies as well as community trust building. Social capital is very, very important in this area. So I feel having faster police response systems as well as localized community policing can help in this case. At the same time, I also feel कि हमें education, employment programs, in fact, even mental health support जैसी चीजों पे काम करना चाहिए सोसाइटी में.
हम बीइंग अ कॉलेज स्टूडेंट मुझे ये लगता है कि हम लोग पॉलिसीज जो भी इम्प्लीमेंट होती हैं वी आर नॉट अपडेटेड विथ इट एंड इवन अगर हम रूरल एरियाज में जाते हैं तो उधर भी लोगों को नहीं पता होता पॉलिसीज का. पॉलिसीज आर इम्प्लीमेंटेड बाय द गवर्नमेंट, इट गोज टू डिफरेंट हायरार्कीज और उसके बाद बहुत लोगों तक ये नहीं पहुंच पाता है. तो व्हाट स्ट्रेटजीज डू यू यूज टू स्टे अपडेटेड विद डाइवर्स पॉलिसी एरियाज?
I personally, like primarily, I try to follow the newspaper. Other than that, I follow the parliamentary updates. So you have the digital Sansad website wherein all the bills are, uploaded there. Apart from that, आपके पास गवर्नमेंट रिपोर्ट्स होती हैं जैसे PIB जैसे वेबसाइट्स हैं वहां पे सारी रिपोर्ट्स अवेलेबल होती हैं. उसके अलावा आई ट्राई टू स्टे अपडेटेड विद द रिसर्च दैट इज बीइंग कंडक्टेड इन दिस एरिया लाइक अ पर्टिकुलर एरिया बाय वेरियस थिंक टैंक्स. तो काफी जेन्युइन और बहुत अच्छे थिंक टैंक्स हैं जैसे सेंटर फॉर सिविल सोसाइटी, PRS लेजिस्लेटिव भी रिसर्च कंडक्ट करता है काफी इन डेप्थ. तो कोई भी स्टूडेंट या कोई भी पॉलिसी प्रोफेशनल या कोई भी यंग प्रोफेशनल जो पॉलिसी के फील्ड में आना चाहता है, they can definitely follow these pages to get a deeper understanding of what's going on.
Yeah. So, how can people of our generation change their ideas into actionable policies at an individual level? क्योंकि हम अपने इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे खुद से काम कुछ नहीं कर पाते क्योंकि हमारे आसपास इफ वी आर ट्राइंग टू फिगर आउट की थिंग्स की सोशल वर्क हमें करना है और पब्लिक पॉलिसीज के फील्ड में भी जाना है सो दैट बिकम्स डिफरेंट. तो हाउ कैन एक इंसान खुद से इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे पॉलिसीज को समझ के इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हो?
आई थिंक इसमें सबसे पहला स्टेप तो यही होता है आपकी रिसर्च अबिलिटी. आप कितना रिसर्च कर रहे हो, कितना आप पढ़ रहे हो उसके बारे में, एंड एट द सेम टाइम योर क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस ऑफ द इशू. This is something that I have suggested and advised to every student that comes up to me with a similar sort of a question, is that you do not need to go at a very higher level initially itself कि हम सीधा MP के साथ काम करें जाके. You start small, start local with your community, local community. आपका neighborhood हो गया तो you start documenting local issues जैसे solid waste management है, गार्बेज कलेक्शन हो गया, सीवेज वाटर ट्रीटमेंट, ये सारी चीजें लोकल लेवल पे आप डॉक्यूमेंट कर सकते हो. यू कैन स्टार्ट एंगेजिंग विद योर लोकल इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स जैसे कि वार्ड काउंसलर्स होते हैं. एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो स्टार्ट कोलैबोरेटिंग विद सिविल सोसाइटी ग्रुप्स, NGOs के साथ आप कोलैबोरेट करके अपना रिसर्च उनके साथ लाइक प्रेजेंट करके एंड कैन कोलैबोरेट विद देम, वर्क ऑन दीज इश्यूज. Other Another thing that can work in this case is having a well-researched petition or even an RTI can spark dialogue and build momentum towards policy change. So this is also something that young people can avail and start with.
Yes. So एक panel discussion में I was asked to bring a policy. What policy can you bring up to help women around? So at that point I had mentioned कि I don't trust in policies. क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि देर आर डिफरेंट हायरार्कीज जो क्रिएट होती हैं, तो जब ग्राउंड लेवल पे कोई भी प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं तो ग्राउंड लेवल पे बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं जो एक्चुअल पॉलिसी को नहीं इम्प्लीमेंट होने देते हैं। तो ऐसा ग्राउंड लेवल नेग्लिजेंस इम्पैक्ट करता है वो जो एक्चुअली पॉलिसी फ्रेम हुआ है गवर्नमेंट के थ्रू।
Absolutely, 100%. Even the best drafted, well-intentioned policies fail if there's administrative gaps or let's say inefficiency in implementation, as you mentioned, on ground level. In that case, I believe personally that feedback loops and accountability and even transparency at the last mile are very, very important in governance.
Okay. So, as a young woman who is working closely with member of parliament in a traditionally male-dominated field, how has your experience been there?
I think my experience personally has been great. I haven't come across anything which would have put me off with regards to this particular career. I feel having a mix of asserting a sort of a quiet confidence, you can have it loud also, but I believe having a mix of confidence and choosing to be heard without without losing sort of your temper or anything, because ऐसी जगहों पे wherein it's quite male dominated and आप एक woman हो and also very young at that, I'm not even 25 yet, so it sometimes get very overwhelming also, but I think respect helps open a lot of doors for you. And at the same time, competence and your capabilities are what keeps you in the room. So I feel having that respect towards your elders who are there, your seniors, and showing them your competency by being confident in what you're doing, at the same time asserting it with firmness. I feel that has helped me really, really well in this whole year that I've been working in this field.
That's really great. So, do you have any advice for young women and men who want to come up into this field and can help the people in government? Because I had heard of one MP stating that he wants more and more young people to come into policy making so that he gets more and more ideas what younger generation are seeing. So how can
Right.
young women and men can join irrespective of their age or gender?
Yeah, I think you've raised a really wonderful question here, because today we need more than anything a youth perspective, and given the demographic dividend that India has today, I think youth perspective and even a gendered perspective that is really, really important in policy formulation. My number one advice to anyone trying to enter this field is to become excellent at your craft. And how you do that is by researching deeply, asking smart questions. So this is something जो हमें ऐसा लगता है कि इतने questions पूछेंगे तो we don't sound incompetent or anything like that, but I feel asking questions shows your curiosity and inquisitiveness as well, and you would be taken more seriously also. And having your own perspective, I feel, is very, very important. Having an opinion in the sense which is empathetic and sensitive towards the other person also, towards their lived experiences also, but having your own perspective, not being swayed away by people's opinions and their thoughts. I think for women especially, I feel having finding good mentorship and allies in this field is very important. And as individuals, I feel it's very important to back yourself when others don't, having that self-confidence
Correct.
within you.
Correct. So in your opinion, how can we encourage people? जैसे हम अब हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू वी आर ट्राइंग टू ब्रिंग पीपल, younger generation as well, and people who are older than us to come and speak on the issues that they might have faced in their life, ताकि people in their surrounding can feel secure in talking to them about those issues.
Right.
So, especially women and men who are experiencing difficulties, how can they come forward and speak about their struggles without any fear or stigma?
I think, as you yourself mentioned, we need safe spaces, we need inclusive platforms, and more than that, we also need visible role models who normalize vulnerability. Today, we have influencers for anything and everything, but I feel if we are using social media platforms for doing all sorts of influencing, I think normalizing vulnerability is something that we can, start with. Um, I would just like to mention that even when I started my own book club, it's called the Femme Prologue. I initially had the idea to create a safe space, but I was not expecting it to turn out so beautifully. So I think in like individual initiatives can bring so much impact when it comes to holding spaces for others, if I have to put it that way. Also, policy again can support this through mental health infrastructure and anti-discrimination measures that we can have in our workplaces, in our schools and communities at large. So I think these are steps that should be taken on a more community level as well as individual initiatives as well.
Correct. सो हमारे आसपास बहुत सी कंट्रोवर्सीज होती हैं जो हमारे माइंड को मेंटली बहुत ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट करती है, इधर इन अ पॉजिटिव और अ नेगेटिव वे. जैसे आपने मेंशन किया कि देयर आर इन्फ्लुएंसर्स all around,
Right.
and what through our platform are trying to build is people who are real influencers from our vision. People who are real influencers are people who are working for social cause, who are impacting life in a very positive way, who are working in field, who are working on ground, who are trying to make an impact through their words, through their work they are doing. So controversies frequently influence people mindset. So how do you think these controversies shape people mindset, and what can be done to foster a more balanced and empathetic understanding?
I think controversies often exemplify and amplify extremes, but at the same time, I think they also force conversations around those issues. They do end up having sort of a polarization in the society. A lot of biases are also created this way, but I think it's sometimes also फोर्स कॉन्वर्सेशंस. जब ये कंट्रोवर्सीज होती हैं हम उनके बारे में बात करते हैं एंड हैव दोस कॉन्वर्सेशंस विद आवर फ्रेंड्स, फैमिली, कॉलेजेस में. तो again, coming back to your question, I think through inclusive dialogue, proper education on these issues, and again media accountability, because I feel media का बहुत बड़ा रोल रहता है कंट्रोवर्सीज को कितना बढ़ावा मिलता है वो मीडिया के थ्रू ही या सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स के थ्रू ही. तो आई थिंक अकाउंटेबिलिटी इज समथिंग on an individual level also is very, very important, and I think these things and moments can be used to shift narratives and promote empathy.
Correct. Adding on to that, because I have seen a lot of controversies which are put forward by the media houses, which they try
Right.
to promote so that their TRPs goes high. For that, I personally think that there should be more people who can do independent journalism. Means people
Right.
who actually are in their school or colleges can come up and can speak on the issues that actually matters. Because if they are seeing things happening wrong around them, they have that power, because this is the era of social media. In 2025, you can just take out your phone, you can speak on the issues, whatever you are seeing, and you can post so that people can get to know the reality which is happening at the ground level. So that is one thing which I
Absolutely.
feel, that even if controversies happens, you and your own personal understanding living in a society where people have different mentalities can actually influence mindset.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you on this. I think it all boils down to having a sensitivity also towards the issues. हर किसी को कंट्रोवर्सी देख के ही मजा आने लगता है कि हम इसके बारे में बात करें,
बात
घंटों
करें।
घंटों उसके ऊपर गॉसिप करें. लेकिन आप ये नहीं समझते कि इट्स अ बिगर इशू देन जस्ट अ हॉट गॉसिप टॉपिक. So I
Exactly.
think yes, having sensitivity and again personal accountability also is something that all of us should inculcate within ourselves.
So now could you just walk us through your process of preparing parliamentary questions and speeches for member of parliament?
So, like I mentioned in my previous answer, also, it starts with the newspaper only, and of course, the identifying issues from news. There's also constituency feedback, also. So, let's say some particular MP is from a certain constituency in a certain state. So, we have people coming in, and there's a lot of feedback also. So and there's news, there's constituency feedback, and again the data in general, which is there on the government websites. So we start by doing rigorous research on it, fact checking, drafting in a very clear and focused tone, because that is what is required of us when drafting a parliamentary question. With speeches also, it is नो सेम ओनली. जैसा भी टॉपिक होता है या फिर जैसा भी सिचुएशन होता है, उस हिसाब से यू हैव टू मोल्ड इट इन अ सर्टेन मैनर. Depends if you are working with an MP who's from the ruling or from the opposition. So accordingly, the tonality changes a bit. But other than that, all of this work is very collaborative and very time sensitive also, because you know how parliamentary proceedings are. It's very fast paced, and working in an MP's office is like that. You sometimes you're doing something, and usi ke hi आधे घंटे बाद you would be called in to do something else entirely. But again, it's very fulfilling. It's very rewarding, especially for someone as young as me who is just. इससे पहले तक I was just reading about all of this in my school and
Exactly.
college textbooks. But now to be in the thick of things and actually being there, assisting that MP, it's actually very rewarding and fulfilling.
So do you feel happy that whatever you are proposing is getting implemented and getting spoken in parliament?
With the parliament, I feel it has not come just yet for me personally. I have drafted a lot of questions and speeches for the MPs that I've worked with, and those questions have been asked on the floor of the House. Also, the speeches have been delivered by the MP on the floor of the House. But having those tangible changes with respect to policy shift or impact in parliamentary proceedings, it has not come just yet. But that's the goal we are steadily working towards. I think it takes a little bit of time and effort, but I think it has, in a way, contributed to shaping conversations and highlighting gaps. I feel I'm very focused and sort of trying to stay consistent and getting that to those tangible changes soon.
Okay. So till now, whatever I had studied about public policy and what I am studying right now about public policy is that before bringing in any public policy, you have to think what to make, where to make, how to make, where to sell, who to sell, and at what price it has to be has to sell. So, what do you think a platform which can be created by people who are in a younger generation that can help men and women to actually work for the welfare of people?
I think one way of achieving this can be by ensuring that policies are not just gender sensitive, but also intersectional. You have different sections and communities within a single society. So I think being sensitive to their lived experiences, and then translating those lived experiences into data backed arguments, doing on ground surveys, having one on one interviews and conversations with these People can help create a bridge between silence and systemic change in the society, and ultimately creating those platforms like we previously discussed, how we can have these inclusive and safe spaces. I think this all boils down to taking everyone forward together. So again, reiterating it that being sensitive and having those ethical considerations is very, very important when you are working in the policy field.
Exactly. Even adding on to that, what I have experienced till now, that most of the time when we talk about social work or public policy and the crimes which are happening around, we have seen that people don't talk straight, that people don't have a clear thought on any of the things because they feel that being diplomatic is what will help them to actually, ताकि वो समझ पाए कि यार ये इंसान भी ये कहना चाह रहा है, ये इंसान ये कहना चाह रहा है, और एट द एंड ऑफ द डे दे फील दैट ये सारे व्यूज को एक साथ लेकर के आई आई कैन गिव माई ओन व्यू, और उसके बाद पीपल विल अंडरस्टैंड मी. Even when I
Hmm.
started this podcast named Understanding Views, my only intention was कि हर इंसान का there is different views, different ideologies. So हम एक ऐसा
Right.
प्लेटफॉर्म क्रिएट कर सकते हैं where we can bring people. आप अपना पर्सपेक्टिव दो, I can give my perspective. Let's understand each other, और उसके बाद we can have a clear understanding and we can guide our future generation. But still,
Absolutely.
people try to be more diplomatic rather than being straight to whatever their mindset is, whatever they have been taught from their childhood. क्योंकि मुझे ये लगता है कि हमारी सोसाइटी हमें बचपन से ही एक माइंडसेट के साथ क्यूरेट करती है, और वो आगे जाकर के चेंज होना बहुत मुश्किल होता है.
Hmm. आई थिंक चेंज होना मुश्किल नहीं है, वो एक सॉर्ट ऑफ कंडीशनिंग हो जाती है बचपन से ही. बट आई फील learning and unlearning is and should be an essential part of your life right from your birth till the day you die. And आपने जो चीजें सीखी हैं, आप हो सकता है कि वो पूरी तरीके से सही ना हो, तो like learning new things and unlearning previous patterns which are now redundant, I think that is very, very important. And as you mentioned, diplomacy, again, foreign policy, geopolitics, yes, diplomacy is absolutely essential. But I feel when you're in the thick of things, in the sense that आप local communities के साथ काम कर रहे हो, vulnerable people के साथ काम कर रहे हो, वहाँ आप कैसे diplomatic हो रहे हो, I don't know, it's beyond me. वहाँ एक तो आपको clearly दिख रहा होता है कि injustice है, नहीं है, lack of access है, resources है, नहीं है, आप उसमें कैसे diplomatic हो सकते हो? So if somebody still has that mindset, is still afraid to have their voices out in a clear manner, I feel आप थोड़ा start करें बोलना and start raising your voice for issues like these.
Exactly. So one last question which I always ask in every podcast which I do, that how do you want people to remember you when you're not here?
I think I would want people to remember me as a kind and supportive person. I've always tried to hold spaces for other people. And that has been my idea throughout with my book club or with my LinkedIn also. I just try to give out as much information or knowledge as I can to people who need it. Apart from that, I would also want to be remembered as someone, who used her voice to raise issues that are important.
Exactly.
So, and also creating that space for women in policy, because that is something that I'm very, very passionate about, having more female representation in this field. So, yeah, I think these are 2-3 things that I'd want to be remembered by.
That's really amazing. So thank you so much for giving so much insights on lots of things, and I hope all people who are watching this will be able to think about the policies, how this can create an impact on their lives and how they can bring change in the society.
Thank you, Yuvraj. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you so much.
So here's a challenge from my side to you all. Write about the issues that you see around your area, whether it is about crime, gender, education, or anything. Write down the problems you face and the people around you face. Talk about that issue to somebody you know. This is how you will start to create a movement for change. If this conversation made you realize that you can create a change in the society, share it with one friend who you think has an intent to serve the society. So this was fifth episode of Understanding Views on Women and Men. See you in the next episode. Till then, don't just talk, don't just think, start to create an impact.